No, and then some hold on the funny and farm rail. Or what the other shell and so mammy said, "What I saw ya senior Yadiku a crat and moon summer brown, or money and patron for Moncratway."
Nii Captain Smart. You may call my senior sing. En napa macro. Soy napa. No ye soko. Having black insecticide spray and mosquito coil. Having dear. Barco pet. Adama West Africa Limited.
Alright. So what the other ton Jaya nature say ye call cat and daily guide. Okay, Von Nelson assemble ho. I aborted Sarkodis baby. Don't forget Unim Crawford do ye and Matuegu. For you conform my baby at Twegu. Abortion across the Krum Hanya Yvonne Kwane Decay. Umami Yebi. Miss Amami. Say ya, not saying ya no Yebi. And no danche. Yes, I could do. A former Greek minister. No. Sama Cochrano. Yes, so I call file. So your president obedi. I don't know your no more masama. Analyst can't kufado. Asem. Maybe also a boy. The finder Kutone Boache Jakuni Akufadwa. What do you know? Eton chair. Vasti don't blast Baumia, he's a failure. Yakasa. And I say, developing Africa economies, build strong financial institutions. Akufado. Oba no be good Ghana there. ABC say Baumia say I have my own vision for Ghana. Chesa Akufo-Addo wa born no ni vision. So ono na wo ono wa ni vision. Chesa de oni na no kan Akufo-Addo de nkrofo. Omo entie. Papers no. We will show you asene ya de bro. Yemfa nkrato yi.
Nii Captain Smart. You may call my senior sing. En napa macro. Soy napa. No ye soko. Having black insecticide spray and mosquito coil. Having dear. Barco pet. Adama West Africa Limited.
Afei ma membra na yemra studio na afei ensama hodro no yentimi ba ba mu ye mfama na won so yasene ayede ko akrata no nsembra mu no ye da omu ina ase asamba ko a etare echire ene se ese James Kwachi Kwesi High Court say every day be on Mara Court. Wow. Now why you make kura of Ghana skakra say it be agenda in the case 6 months. People wo ya mamu ho aye ni wu ache dodo Akufo-Addo. Eti wo ye lawyer ba. Wo call law school pa wo ye lawyer mpa. You see, Mr. Ghana ye judges no. Mo ye last resort. Ebi amunya hu ye. Your Chief Justice Jokonu ana Tokonu. Mami, Ghana judiciary no na ye last resort. Samu feli yenya ejabe tokru yim. Fase bebi ensunka. Cause ase sebia no obia brana tetene yire so a ose enya hweme court. Se koba ne se court ne ma ne ho kwan. Emma politician actually de onya dangerous. The court the shall say yes sir. People will take the law into their own hands. And anything is possible to happen.
It is no battle, please search.
So we are judge, you're careful because Abraboko ejine to on my that call retirement as a judge. Baby out here. I agree. Because I'm running out here when Ukraine on our Troy. I could have feared the parliament. So your MP on a mouth.
I just
the president aside. Menya lawyer. Menya judge. By female ya woman ya besi the president a year more court him. Mente say case bi aba memu ha. Every day as I say a court as aboso me and boso me 9. Aba. It is a so court every day abacho. Saturday and Sunday so morning kwasore.
Se akoko bewu
court nanka send him very well say 27th of this month or to aba ye gina so ye to no so aba court ni ho ahinti ojai ase no to for to aba na makwesi ojai oba we ni dada ba mo to no mo na me mpese mekom but mo to aba na man mo cause black American be na ote white American be lady if you na esan say oye tuntum na na dwen say oni tumi nti sabi oja ne nan a na wato akoto black American ni fie na wato na ode akoto ho oja ne nan a oye nwura woni fie a na watwie de fa fence ne so e de egu maame ni fie maame ni trans din no say oh ade maame onjaye pampan no so enjai no kofa flowers a efedi be sisi ho enti anche ne broni ba ne yare ye eno ye de ne koto ayare sabia wache ewo ho ena doctor na o hede say wonya obi the flowers a eye mono eye natural e de brewa ebe ya akono bibini maami nso ehun se ni neighbor yese o yare ya gina to hospital onimu mpoda se doctor say onfa obinya flowers bi beche na e na call baby a broni ba no atowura ene sebie no egunu no kuka flowers ni bi e na de command no o share said the same flowers no ebisi ni fie but enye fesa ehwam enyini yie efenso and obisan say where did you get these flowers from
Ghana ni bisu ye gare manu tu
say sabia any wura na wutugu mi fie ho no you meant bad for me but God meant for good it's matete saf ebini na wo hwegu mi fie no mu flowers and am dey abra won ntije ye dum pempen so a ese say ye hunu say ye de tumi ya ade a ye nkai hunu say emre eninka so New Vision Movement penny back on Habraima bibi aboko awode wo ho aha ye kasa memem ti kasa di sanso and always on high innocent and a free brapeny brandy and so ewaha minim if you want to start with everyone else if you want to say anything
but with that issue okay Mechia was here for like the youth of Ghana in some about out with Yvonne Captain Namin Pesel Mekan was sending but I just want to draw people's attention to one issue. So for a very long time I say can't it's always the men who are at the receiving end. But with this expose about it clearly shows certain women can be very evil as well. Into all of these troubles, it came from one point. All the troubles that Yvonne has dealt with, her traumas and all of those things, started from the mother. One is she didn't even get to know who the father was, and she had been lied to about who the identity of her father has been. I think we should take parenting very seriously. Maybe we have to take certain issues very, very seriously, especially parenting. And I don't blame either gender. It has to be both men and women. Have to take that conscious effort. Say we're going to raise a family here. Then we have to take responsibility for the people we are going to raise. And certain things don't matter. Say a bare personal interest. No. You have to think, apart from what you want, the interest of the children is paramount in any relationship like that. I wouldn't go too much into that. I mean, near PR for Yvonne, I'm publicity sales in tea. All right. Where it is, yes.
But that's it. Innocent.
Yeah, Captain.
That's all can be or
oh, not really, but I think she appeared to be a very strong lady. And I think how I want me dealing with the situation, is quite commendable because of your anchor. the weight, you know, obe come crashing under it. But upon all the troubles, now what me prevail and baby I will do and I think Wayadi and she deserves a lot of commendation. I think Nipa bebre befa futu be free in the story ne abraba wabom. So I think it's quite commending.
Ima?
Yeah. Been percebe kan wasem but me kwaya man kan bi de ene wa nkokora nkeye. This issue na me kan me hu no say much more a private life. But odi abeto book mu de na enye enkoye ono anasem no. Na de me kan say brebi be na watchi ana bosumi kakra pa na me kan bibi afa de otro ye no ho na interview bi na obi bisa no about the movies or yeah ono a ohwe ana the parent and na o kire say na wofo enhwe me manfa madwan but de me pese me kan ne se efa we ho ne se nkwala ye de won man yen no on earth here no say we are going to inherit them eternally ye no betena febo nti asase we so no omunya anye ye na japade na mom nyankopon de won be man yen say ye japade ewo abra ye tumi atete won nti it becomes a responsibility of awophobia say odi akwala abasa so iso a said your tibia no wo be ma wani akono na most of the time wa Ghana ha no eya na ye ni ye kase ye hwe won a ye dwene ye adwuma suku a obekọ adwuma a obeyo eni se obetumi adiye. Those are the things we look at. But eya na the moral upbringing no very important because say wo pre japade wa asase we su nyina de ma wo ma na wan pre moral uprightness na ma won a what ase na o mo ton japade na wo pre ye no what ase na o mo ko ekunkun wo ho enti ya de siade ma awofo dodo na e ma yen so a ye ba no se betumi ahwe na identify what responsibilities we own to our children.
But I say ade ba ko a me hwe book cover na me nyankan book ni na me wonu say abaya no na brabo ina mu no po bi obedodo. She was looking for love, nothing else. Makacho say oba nyini said den opeja be ma nyini said den opena me wo ya me dem me do me ma me chen oba bia in my life ukura me do na chen eno na ye bam time na yes o date sa akode no na minim sa akode ba pictures na nkrofo de aba bonte na mpampa de na chese na Yvonne enye sikeni na ohwehwe no obodo papi kodwo ba da be onu so ye de na beka ho that time mpampa se opobi owo bibi won nsem a enyanyen kura na o ye nipa be ya wala tamam amede me ntum bodo mabono enyanya na enyanya ayo enganga o se enyanya o se wan no ye wan ya. There's something abaya no hwehwe. She was looking for somebody. So that was all that Yvonne was looking for. Etiesramu Susukadi unim and so the eba. Afraid Yambara Ghana. Nii Captain. Today is free range. Right. I don't have any topic for you.
Right.
But there's a story actually. We started yesterday. I saw Daily Graphic there, but I know later. I know say Ebia Obibe Pese Obeka and no one asema. Started a story yesterday about Ghana teacher for almost show exams. Na ebidum afeli. Teachers no be brave.
Who scripts?
Cultural exams.
Headmaster pa.
Philip Potter. I don't know, but
yes.
And then free range.
Right.
Issue
Right. And the Captain, Mami started with a little civics. Into a state, a country, and a nation. These three entities, Captain, are more the same thing.
Okay.
A country, a nation, and a state. Very three different entities, and yes, synonyms. But remember, we confuse them to be the same things. And let's start with the country. Captain, the country is basically territorial space, as I said, the land. That's what the country is. So, a nation. A nation is a group of, Captain, when you name the way American will treat me, won't find me. But a nation is a group of people that are bound by culture.
That's right.
Now, say, we are dealing with culture. Nearly full, and I said Dr. Francis Chris Wilson, or say, culture has expression, physical manifestations in 9 fields of human endeavor. Until you're talking about economics, entertainment, education, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Again, education, entertainment, economics, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. These are 9 fields of endeavor human culture expressing. Now, if you're dealing with a state is the administrative arm of a nation. That's where it ends. Until a state and a nation are not the same entities. Again, a nation is a group of people that are bound by culture, and then a state is the administrative arm of the country, of the nation. And see, Captain, let's get these 3 things straight first. Most of the time, because of ignorance and our political unconsciousness of the people, young public servants start to think, they have become the lords over the people. Until they start to abuse power. And that's what we see in most democracies across the world today. But, citizens, the people, the nationals, the sovereigns get to understand our position, our political status within the system. Then they'll begin to relate to the government administration as such. Now, the managers of the states, Captain, they're from government administration. Government, they are the administrators
of the government.
Exactly. Until they manage the state. Until right from the president down to the last public servant. Again, a public servant. All of those people are administrators of the state. They are not in control of the nation. They should get this right. And Captain, last week I read a text from Ecclesiastes 10. I say, I've seen a great evil under the sun. That princes are begging on the streets and the servants are riding up on the horses. That's exactly what we are facing today. Because the citizens don't understand our position in the cause of nation building. Our representatives or our political representatives have they've usurped the power of the people and now think they're the ones in control. But so call the constitution, which is an operational manual for the state, not the nation. So it is the nationals of the nation, the sovereigns, they create the constitution to control the actions of the state. That's what the constitution is. And see, in the constitution, it says in the preamble, all power resides with the people. All power emanates from the people, not the citizens, from the people. But you see, they made us believe, the people in there are citizens. Citizens are wards of the state, not of the nation. And see, in nation building, when we understand this dynamics, it puts you in a certain position of power, and you're able to relate with your public servants. But because education has not gone around, we think these people who are supposed to be our representatives have become powerful more than us. But Captain Shebibi, every 4 years, on the 7th of December, something happens. Our public servants, the administrators of the state, always come back to the sovereigns and ask them for the renewal of the mandate to continue their service. That's what happens every 4 years. Right? And see, they come back to, they come to ask the people and beg that we should renew their mandate so they can continue to serve. So how is it that our public servants who we've mandated to come and do work for us on our behalf start to call the shots and think they're the ones in power? Unless ignorance. It's only ignorance that can allow such things to happen. So they say again in the same good book, for the lack of knowledge, and yet belief or faith, they say for the lack of knowledge, my people perish. And see, all our problems, Captain, all the problems we're facing in Ghana concerning national issues, developments, Sanyama policies and all these things, is because our public servants have assumed a certain position. Amofil said they are a law unto themselves. And they've forgotten, the people are the sovereign, And they have all absolute power and authority in the country. They can decide whatever happens and not the representatives. And see, Captain, let's come back to education. All these things we're seeing, I saw some of the exams papers. No, you see, headmaster Pauncho essay, Captain. What I saw is scary, and it's not surprising. Say our educational system is what it is because say headmaster or your supervisor of the entire school is able to write such essays.
Police had to be better swam.
It's
and where who said daily graphic class.
Yeah, I have the producer sent some. I saw this morning. Yeah, essays. I'm marking.
Police had to be better swam. Who said daily graphic crowd about page 20. 6,481 teachers failed licensure exams, and the total our present year was 728, 7728, and a 1277 pass a year. They all failed, and right now, yeah, the documents need be toso. They are almost sure ye need be.
My goodness,
edit toso, and the schools they claim to have completed. And then I said, I don't know, I'm done here. We share, I didn't know teacher for the be actual now. I think say a problem. A huge problem. Yeah, it been here. My name is Robert Bain World, TV no one what kind Innocent.
Captain.
Question in there was sort of no, my main kind of what one more radio and run away, you can't show, so my main repeat it. Or say, as a head teacher,
I'm zero.
As a head teacher,
you see,
discuss 2 measures you will put in place to improve academic work in your school. Teacher. And our chance here, Gushegu High School.
Post office.
PO box. Post office box 10.
SAO.
Gushegu. SAO.
Your true address was SAO.
And SAO pan your true address was Gushegu High School. PO Box 10, Gushegu, 4th May 2023. Application of headmaster.
No, Captain head no review.
Application of head.
No question.
Teacher.
No. Yes, write an essay.
Write an essay.
Oh, good.
Afeti, dear sir, I am very happy to write you this letter. The letter that writer is that meeting very body to most come of discuss the school program. Yes, saying Munko school man trouble for papa. Teacher bro. Mr. Heartmaster. Measures that I am is that some people's not come to the meeting. That why writer you, Mr. Heart teacher. Producer Fafo from there.
Captain Oyo, sign out.
Wait, salary idea money.
I feel we so.
Continuation though.
Where?
I say where?
Onye you. Or trust. And when you're full, when a new person or try the same question no or answer or say Mr. Chairman, panel of judges. Against time, and then also against timekeepers, ladies and gentlemen, to be they.
I just a pack with Zibeka.
Now, we didn't say address now, Ocho. To be addressed the issue about to improve academic work, use where we. My amphofro. Numerous pa time keke se watch abosai we so abosai teacher ni o chira de we senior high school na ohun otin we tieni you or say virtual or online teaching and learning has come to stay. Describe 3 challenges you encountered in using virtual mode of teaching and learning in your institution. Candidates who exceed the WOR limit will be penalized. Candidate is an infection.
Oh, Captain, stop.
Oh, no, this is it.
Captain, yeah. What are you to us?
Candidate is an infection that lives within girls and boys.
I know.
It is flu.
Candidiasis.
Or person candidiasis.
No, it's a candidate.
Candidate.
No,
That, the girl's virgin or person vagina went to enter. And from boys' penis. Do not sexual intercourse. Using the toilet with an affected person. Firstly, the number one challenges we face is that when you are affected with candidates, Charlie, what are you saying about numeracy? This is what Ebinu trauma.
Let me play devil's advocate. So, Chinese president, Xi Jinping, he has never ever spoken English in all of his professional life.
That's right.
But no one says on school that that's all illiterate. Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, never.
That's right.
So North Korea, several other countries. Macron, a few times he tries to express himself in English, but he speaks French and only in Kasa. And Captain, some of these things, if the same individual is asked to express himself in his native language, we will say he'll be more fluent or they can perform better. But Brofo, no. So then let me play devil's advocate. So we've gone to a point, so I don't see why our official language is English. And Captain, I was going to tie this into the explanation I was giving for a nation. And see, if you're dealing with a nation, a little exercise, right? I want to show almost say Ghana is not a nation, Ghana is a state. The project to make Ghana a nation was truncated. And see, maybe to say England. The people of England are called English, and they speak English, right? So called Spain. The people of Spain are called Spanish, and they speak Spanish. So called Portugal. The people of Portugal are called Portuguese. They speak Portuguese, right? Same way, who call China? The people there are called Chinese. They speak Chinese, right? Japan, they are Japanese. They speak Japanese. But just all back Ghana, you are Ghanaians. You can't say so called Nigeria, no, the people there are Nigerians, but moka kasabeng. So called Togo, the people there are called Togolese, but kasabeng or moka. And see, a nation, after the 9 fields of human endeavor, Makano, all that binds it together is the language. And see, proper nations, you find the indigenous called that, and then they are tied in with their language they speak. But when it comes to Africa, we say the dynamics here are different. And why is that? Some of these things play into it, Captain. How is it Ghana has its official language as English? Meanwhile, none of us are from Britain. And none of us are from England. And see, about the same say, official language, English. And see, if you went into any of the communities, particularly in Ghana, I said, Captain, you're a little boy. When your little boy is speaking Chi, I said, Wakotro masters was
okay, Kufo. 4 years.
4 years, yes. But his native language, when he's speaking, the fluency and efficiency of him speaking that language, you won't say, yes, this is where he's
That's
from.
Right.
Yes.
Imagine say in Cambrofo.
No, I know the Captain is something I
remember if you're in Cambrofo.
Me understand.
I'll brofo to now.
It's yes, Captain. So the mother tongue of any child. So far, any child from same 4 years from England and not Britain, and the person is speaking English, you won't say this is a Nekrum Kasa. It's even little children are able to express themselves very fluently in the language. Take a young child that has been raised, who is not an indigen of England, but has been raised to speak English. The proficiency of the two of them, you see the difference. So yes, a learned language is not the same as Obia and Kata.
That's right.
You see, and see, with our education system, you have to look at it carefully. Instructing children in English, and some now obesuya mass, no, and so obesuya English, and some now obesuya mass. It is a double burden on the person's mind.
That's right.
But if you could explain all of these concepts, instruct the children in their mother tongue, Captain, it will be more proficient. But back to the political side of this, with civics. Captain, we have to understand, truly say a building nation. We are concerned about nation building. That we have to understand certain fundamental issues concerning civics. And I was hoping, sir, we would have replaced social studies with civic education. So people can understand some of these political concepts. And I said the National Commission for Civic Education would have been sending out some of this education to the masses for people to understand what governance is about. But the only time you see NCC doing any of this work is only when elections time are due. You better will say about ballot paper in the, if you're going to cast your vote, this is how you cast, and this is where it ends. But they don't even teach people how to even relate to state institutions like the police. Say, police are chill, you're there at police station. How to even write your statement. People don't have this training any longer. But because I said back in school when I was in primary, in social studies, we did some of these exercises. How to write statements if you're sent to the police. I have my issues with it, but I mean, it was how to teach people how to relate with the government institution. And this is what we have to get back to, Captain. I say, yeah, facing our situations head on. Let's go back to the educational system. Let's revamp the entire educational system. Let's correct some of these mishaps. Go back to civics to teach people their political and legal status with the system. And some of these issues will be gone away. Captain, good morning.
But I say, Asana, Innocent, Bebe Muno, but more than a shadow, so say, Tema Oil Refinery, after spending huge sums of money, say, I no say no, enche. Yes, say, Abaya Daniama will be $22 million.
What?
The me person who say, RFCC, residue fluid catalytic cracker. That machine a rolling so toya, kufo bayo kofa bayo no krano. That alone was more than $50 million. But Nipana or Tono, the projection just say he will make $700 million every year. What is wrong with us as people? Me want multimedia, Adam, na me yet Tor must work. Na the pressure buying so na buying fix it tema oil refinery. Buying we must say they have the men. But men no entimi amata oil refinery enye adwuma. Say ya me no ka say ye jemu ama ankra. We me train another kra. Na makunyane no aba. Tema oil refinery will come back. Okay. Say?
Yeah, it's only $22 million.
22. That's it.
Now, Commander Sugar Factory is saying?
39. Oto abama ni perform ama waban phone. Yentwa so Innocent.
Yeah, Captain, the kama menchia na menchia watie na menchia ya share say. Answer na meba education side na things say mamenko judiciary kakra. Captain, over the years, we've been expressing concerns about the state of state institutions. Most of them are compromised. Instead of say allow institutional dictates, individual discretions, and determine everything in this country. And for quite some time now, appreciate the major institutions upon which this country, a democracy, the executive, the judiciary, and then the legislature. So what has transpired in this country for quite some time now, free say, Sebi, near margins, Parliament, very often we sit here and we talk about a lot of things. I also free say, to me, inspire confidence and gender hope. So far as this particular democratic journey is concerned, the executive crowd are winning the many decisions that have been taken over the years. And no so and Ghana economically, ya crash bas and I say just try and say to me, I resource state here home. And then institutions of state in failure. The one thing that cannot afford to fail is the judiciary. But what are nipa entrancing who say it is not about somebody sitting in a court and dispensing justice, hoping say, oh, I'm applying the rules and everything as it's supposed to be. But it is about in dispensing justice, that will go to hold and bind society together. So in dispensing justice, if that particular justice would dispense, I want that potency to disintegrate. Now, binding a society then that is not justice, but it is rather nuisance. And as I didn't judiciary, it is about the kind of perception and the trust the general public a repose in the judiciary. Because my culture says state institution be authority in asephobia also from the trust and the confidence the citizens a repose in that institution. And the very moment those trust and confidence cannot be assessed, that institution becomes useless. And then if you go out there and you look at your friends public opinion, how am I for AC perceive the judiciary now? That is why I'm sending a message to the new Chief Justice, Abana Wabano or Juma. Because it is not about say we what take court and what dispense justice. It is about how a man for appreciate they accept whatever that is coming. Because I know and the mama your justice system no etimiyejina. Niwe ba ko no besin ko e na penso no your judiciary no nimu nyamba form because people lost trust, people lost confidence because of certain things they cause okrom. We hear some of the rulings coming out from the Supreme Court and others. Ordinary person can stand on the street and question some of the your friend saying intellectual loopholes, the poverty of logic, and some of the things, and now some of the rulings coming up, especially with this Ghana card, birth certificate, whole lot of stuff. If the ordinary person can sit on the street and question the efficiency of a judicial ruling, our basic element of logic, reasoning, and common sense, on to me who no question, I just say your problem. So, Wasudie said that public perception. The other side, so yeah, the perceived way individuals or more every so more partisan activists sabi ya shape for into the judiciary. Ninyina no entimi engender public confidence, hope and way. And some of the decisions, for instance, have been there better way I will come once a minute. So I go further to deepen that particular perception. So at the end of the day, my culture say time will come, people will not see the court as an option. Say and not by your situation, and then everybody will come along to himself. Asamba will be able to second day settle on the street because going to the court will not be an option. So Amua Sudie say public confidence in a free court no. It is not about sitting there and thinking say judge but the Pongo rope, so I'm just dispensing justice. You should be mindful about that justice dispensing, a bit near holding and bind society together because me and yes and as a rulings a bit titi society then you become a nuisance, not your friends will be a juma. So going forward, you've seen a lot. Public perception, public confidence are dropping to the lowest level. Together because one person cannot make our judicial system quite effective. But it's the trust and the confidence subscribe now you repose into the institution, and a bit robust. But some of these things are cause why feed into the public perception. So certain individuals baby and or more manipulating the judiciary. That could be a perception, but perception is key. Perception is everything, especially in this political arena. You will mean in your friend I depend on Johnson who so be here and on the informing the kind of decisions a man for be making. So that trust in your repair, and then we lose this particular country because already executive near lose parliament, you can't trust it. We won't rely on them to do anything. Sabi a bit the ordinary Ghanaian. Anya ahotoso say institutions and if you look at the other institutions they did folding up. Look at the electoral commission, the cost election day because parliament is asking them to make some changes the woman is not willing to do because she thinks to me now when they can just use the electoral commission to do whatever that they want to do. So can be a first one. The is the reason why we are on this particular trajectory. Everything to ensure that particular thing goes through. So going forward, now things when I judge, when I chief justice, when I the ordinary person on the street, persons in the media, this is the time for us to sanitize the judicial system because over the years, public confidence, trust, man for repose, low. Should making it better. Then back to our educational system, Captain. The I think then it will come to justify why among for the proponent of those proponents and more say some of these exams to assess because my culture say on mind be so person opposition who ye to be your friends say very useful and resourceful in the world that is emerging now. Education is quite key and won't mean taking your educational system for granted. And over the years, we will appreciate the fact that with this free SHS, schools and that trees and a whole lot of policies are buying out the outer. Your school system no consistent no airdrop paper form to the extent say you do baby. Now the only solution is to say young past questions. Then me check man during exams. Now omo enwe baba engo mu team no mo fan kwatro exams. Over the years, and I said the focus has always been about ensuring that people get A and get ahead. That's all, passing the exams. But as to what I said, education impact let me reform your mono. That particular aspect, that is why the last time I told you, say the very moral foundation of this particular society, break it down because two institutions charged with their duty to ensure, say, we build the moral foundation of our kids in this country. If you go to the church and so they don't take time to work on the psyche and on the minds of people. Say, baby, to be conscientized or more, now you build it or morally to become responsible people in society. Now such nonsense is what is going on in the church, and then in the schools. Nobody is building any moral foundation for our kids. And the school, the focus has always been about tuning up for certificate as to whether that particular certificate in better for me or not. We don't care. So everybody is chasing paper. That's why the last time I told you, say, when you have paper, if you Ghana need some certificate, you can't see anything because the focus has always been not about developing the human mind, but it's about chasing paper. And I add there in this particular sense. So just imagine, say, unipa way, a work classroom not child bad there. No need I can't by the language. Yes, I agree with you to a certain extent, but the reality is in Ghana, that is what we have adopted as an official language. And we need to build upon because a country like the United States of America, English no more adopted. Omo free baby UK for na de call ho uko Canada your friends say English in your way UK for na call ho no de call, and there are several other countries, but these people have been able to use this language to develop to where they are. So language has never been a barrier because say I don't accept say that is what we want to do ya jiatum and I dey official business we dey chira there. So we a teacher ni na say ya for say ko chira there ade na wo ko chira nya Harrison na wo dey ko chira there. So you must be up to the belly to ensure say you are able to impact properly. But the question that I'm asking myself is how they got there in the first place. That is the question we should be asking. Because putting it on paper like this, I don't know, it's just one phase of it. But the question is, and I won't get it there because how is that exams and the so crime ban or fast or cocoa. And you see, children in their formative years, and the captain. So when you're careful, now you will leave your children in the hands of Obia Sebi only nyansa. Walk forever.
Ayo.
And cry in their formative years, it's like it's empty. I feel now all to be orientated. I feel now some orientation. That orientation is moral, psychological, you say social, political, everything. So Akrana would not come teacher. That person should be competent enough to be able to give that particular child proper orientation. Sebaya and serve as a foundation going forward, no build it on. That is why the last time I was telling you, say, Krana was a kindergarten, a school kitchen. Yamani pass everywhere, so I'm passing exams into Uncle Chiram Kranadian, a danger and exposed to Krani too. Because they are the people who are going to work on the minds and on the psyche of those children. And they are going to lay the foundation upon which so just imagine say wadi 2 years and now when you have seen in the team now we not come will be a sebi only the left from the right. Now ordinary the foundation and that will build on. And then you know can hold in the educational system now. So I think they're going forward, I say you sanitize it, your school system. Now you're making sure say product air ban because of your born here. Now a kind of sabi emunda enuntia. Me, I don't blame the teachers because quite a maneuver to get their way through neutral clearly say system there are structural loopholes. We need to sit up as people and plug them. Now your educational system over the years yet had a because if you look at the current state of our secondary schools, the kind of tuition and are not exposed to, the kind of challenges and the troubles they are going through to the sense that we are not quite a problem more and cannot continue school 1 month, near about 3 months, and then as a form, Nina affect the kind of quality education munya. Sam Crofo ya neba Basiacon and tertiary institution or one casani half baked. So that half baked teacher no a better impact it. And if you go to our universities, that is the same problem that we are facing because the same people are on the call to the university. You go and pass through the system, change certificate, come back home, there will be no impact on the personal development. And then you a level and some for graduated from our universities, our tertiary institutions, corporations, and who are supposed to your friends employ these guys, see them as so they prefer to retain their retired brains due for retirement, at the expense of this new graduate who is supposed to be given the opportunity. That is the problem. So going forward now, I think the educational system, there are a lot of fundamental problems that you need to set up. One, the disconnect between academia and the job market. Quite bad, never for so bridge. You know, obi free school bar. To me, a transit into the job market without a challenge because the last time I made a country about China and educational system, how they've been able to design it in such a way, say, if you were school, and in the other places, US and as a forum, and no school, some of them are working while they are in school because it's not about just school, it's about how school contribute to the economy, but because of any plan, any structure, biano, DBA, basa. And to when you teach a new ultra who say, and there are a lot of them in it. I think there or more. So just imagine this person standing in the classroom, one natural body, school fees. I'm hoping, say, or Banaba, you will be that. Just imagine. Common sentences require you can't string it together. So if this is the person, Obano dinner, and this person like this, or the other kind of salary, Yadiana Kenyan, and young Quashano, Nayanjina. Your best interest in because I'm quite what do you move over the years, what I say. So you can't blame them because system no allow no. We need to work on our educational system from the basic to the top level. That is why I mean what problem with the education minister or bar or kwada the everybody or the way when there are fundamental problems we need to address and tackle. And I say you addressing those challenges from the basic flow because Accra start school. Opa, oma no mu secondary school no. Uko school do secondary school na sa one tebrofo a o kwa na nyina pa akwaye PhD o tebrofo because at that your first a basic level no na mind no ultimate develop no do dia kan nyina aye de wan kasa betimi aye dia to a ho so at that basic level no wanye ni ya forever you are doomed forever. That is why we need to take things serious. Say secondary education aye kan ho asem free SHS policy no aye Nipa ina na benya ba kwan ya fa so ayeye no enya da se eboa entime mwa ma quality na ye fe ne yensa nka ama educational system na ye see one time. So going forward no ye nyina engage stakeholders na people who matter the kind of input ne kan niam amanfo betimi dia bam ama yetimi reform the system ne se be yankwa na be benefit no. That is what really matters. It is not about rolling out a policy just keke. It is about policy, having an impact, an objective. I see this is say when you perceive achieve those things. Never my education system not effective. Now say you do what I think that some of these things be free. All
right, Ima.
Yeah. I'm say about education, Diana. With these things, me raho I kakra. Because I have the blood of education run through me.
Okay.
And I have the blood of teaching run through me. Endra na me tu kwana na me tie show no. And to me share your man na koso no na ayro kakra. Captain, sometimes your baby shy who say what is the essence of education? Nguma suankasa no. And no need a dear bad day and I informing womasua. Womasua a year, the essence of education is to be able to address problems that affect society. A how a war yen mind, a how a war yen potem, a how we ye fee. Any year kusuanim dear, near the other solve that problems. I how no emanate free ho. That is the essence of education. They be the cancer same way say. Your companies will produce biscuits, will be produce gari, will be produce mpaboa and tade. Na education a yes school no, and also your company, a enterprise, a produce. Now that is the only institution. Both the raw material any product in our life. And no, because you cast away ye the raw material, or your student, or your nipa or one kwa. And no teacher nibe so be jina say we ye me product. That same person no so ye nipa or sans one kwa. Enti se will be produce biscuit baako a obeto atwe anya papa obeto atwe no produce for their shame no. We will say baako wa say no forever. Enye ye bio. And so sa na tie dia enye na sa sector no sa company should be the most important, because after all every other enterprise you have in the economy is going to be managed by human beings that are trained by the school. But here hano ya nyanesa ye jano emaneko ye ka educational ye nhwene distance brofo ka so obetumi aka brofo your linguistic ability from Numasuankasa. In Ghana, Hano says, the acquire say, so what to me come brofo fluently. Not as a winning answer. Or become brofo panso, because you have someone quan walker, sabi. Now somehow, as some and toss but because nano, the brofo, nano, actia, what to me come brofuntino. Yet we give them the audience. That is the problem, one of the things we have here. Yembra educational system at the, curriculum now. Yade ebwa nwumesua wo Ghana ha. Hwe bibi say, nembisa question say, ana education na ye no. Again na informing the curriculum. Is it because what you want to do? The opesa wonyo, eno na ma wo design curriculum no. Ana say curriculum no dey determine what you want to do. Which of them? But mimi die mimi nyansem no what you want to do, because me person me call university question there. It is what I want to do, what I engage in. Any media me here between me aboa me mama yes ade no. And no na informing me to go to the university, which program. And so if we want to design curriculum, we have to identify our problems, our needs, and we design curriculum that brings that knowledge between the resolve those problems. But in Ghana, no. Because you can't say curriculum. You can't say curriculum. That curriculum should have started at the university years back. So, because they have to receive the training of that curriculum when they understand the in and out of that curriculum. And sana ya start say ya implementing. In sana ya primary school level no. Na chere for na ebedi animu no wo idea no dada. But yana curriculum na ya was see ano. Go ask teachers in the school say how many of them even understand the workings of the curriculum na ya dey buy no. They don't understand it. They don't understand. And now, curriculum number, baby, when you study in our educational system very well, you get to know, say, at the end of, as I say, your development, and baby, and the kind of development we need as a country is moving another direction. And the educational system, so baby. But in the sense, education should provide people for the job market. So we provide this. What's in the there is a scholar, a friend Bloom. He designed a taxonomy. The taxonomy is about Nyoma, as I said, the development of the mind when it comes to academia. Now, because of that, we'll say yes, certain questions. Yes, certain questions from certain stage. We'll say recall state. You will recall. And you will. A friend is saying synthesis, your analysis, and your evaluation. There are some of them there. Now, what share these levels now? Research actually said most people do evaluation stage. Most of them will recall state. What fire questions are you set to schools who crowd one? Questions now you set to state, tabulate, list, even explain put the credit pay and our home. Inti akwala no efa book no memorize ya na wababe to. Inti obi Ivan ebisa question say how did they get there? They got there because they are textbook teachers. They are A4 sheet teachers because we chase certificates. or war. You may hold a master's degree. That the fact that you have the master's degree, you have whatever, doesn't make you, epitome of knowledge. Obi will new certificates, no. But the knowledge, the volume of knowledge, I won't initiate discussion. Obi to me a poor, obi kowechi. It's about what you are able to do, and no nature. So what kind? Not the one to me and use one fan solve problems are affected. It is as if I said your weapon. Now we knew how to use the weapon. No, be so that is how educational system I war Ghana hano about bedu sisia and na brofo na yakofa na oka na or rattle and na yes slangs na or person one can to say bruni but
locally acquired foreign accent.
Yes, laugher. What you say, or person one chest or person kind of brofo. But them, the obe can do brony kete akola keto walk 5 years be catch o kan obesere o kasa yan kanasa. Enti yesu ye de ne de wo hen. You go to the class teacher ni bia or textbook e faminable. Enti teacher ni betumi aga on contact because say obi say education and penifo say or ye hia mwo mo fam wa mi mbre ya. What do they bring? Textbooks. When there was no textbook, I think the media came on talking about textbooks. Why? Because when it comes to library in the country, you may ask, what is a library? Go around and look at it. Just simple survey. You realize everybody in this country ever define library as a building. But is library just a building? Library means collection of books. So if my kind books by 10, I remember the titles of the books, and I remember information what books no my kind, and to be some what kind book when we say a day no my kind, what kind we say and a day no my kind. Actually, I have actually designed a mental library, so that's why we can come to look at digital library, but we don't pay attention to it. And the textbooks now, and the teacher in classroom, there will be actual textbooks no more, and none of all culture. And to one kasani contribution, because it says of education is a contribution to knowledge. So we hear research in academia. You be will say research now. What is it contribution to knowledge, the existing knowledge or existing literature? And to one kasadi now we culture no. We are English. Which mathematics. In the sense, I watched mathematics over the years. And then our contributed to that mathematics fraternity, that teaching. And then you bet me if say, or see or not contributed this knowledge. There is nothing like that. You be actual textbooks and one a year useful and a year they call. And to watch the children, afasa root way and now what they call university and our personal knowledge, and our they call and our fa akwanso. Some of them, we have universities that have to check all these things to make sure say we meet the requirement and sign a certificate amount. And they were license, NTC and the responsibility say obey, regulate the behavior or the activity of teaching and learning in the classroom. And these people working there are people who have much experience in the area of teaching. Currently, meaning say Dr. Adey, forgotten the former Nagrat president. All these experiences are there. You feel some bit done in your many more to me and have the needed knowledge. These things are not there. And they are to what we need as a country. Atu baby. And
the point is, Ima, I would like to ask, years back, the licensure exams in the hall, the teachers I was saying went through the same training. A year then we had better students who became better managers. At the same institutions, churning out some people that we can still call them teachers, or same institutions churning out some other people we can call them damagers.
Yes, this to be also Nina a boil back to your friend is saying certain measures that need to be put in place.
Is it an individual who is refusing?
Individuals is part of it. But
because we share idea main code training college that When we call training college in the catch us, I didn't know much 18, 20, 30 years ago, no, and society.
Yeah. Even though almost say almost as about
society.
Yeah.
A day in no, it is
individuals, teachers, and account. Almost say, hey, Captain, in the Ghanaian educational system, the system itself doesn't even encourage teachers to learn.
How?
For instance, I'll say, yeah, well, BBT say, GS accept, Nansenya Namate say, me say, or more accept TV master's degrees. GS for the culture will say, we need only, first degree for the teaching. That is certificate side. The second side, the system now, GS operating, I should tell you, say, any point, the learning and the professional development, when you go to the school, that is academic development. But when you come out of school, you need professional development, and that is your responsibility. So we'll be developing professionally. So if I teach English, I take the responsibility to improve myself through research.
How? Teacher, for the catch us on market, when you are talking about research, it requires Sika and some other logistics.
Captain, I have done simple research for my own teaching. I don't want to tell schools that I have gone to, I've taught. But I can tell you, but I can tell you, say, I do my simple research. I take a simple topic. Okay? I take a simple topic and I collect data to test it.
Data now will collect no more room for so bit bungurugu yo. There otigushiguna otiho sesiano. On nante about 20 kilometers and so it may access the monthly salary. Obisuti krana so ya posting a koto. 2 years in Nakatria we track control a quite and salary no emaye. Say offer wo formula now opiki a simple topic or better no be collected data.
Me pacho. Ma menchara wadi. Shame. Me pese me assess verbs in sentences. Papa will essays ya okanyi. The essays, the whole thing boils back. The teacher does not know the use of verbs. One, the use of the connections connection between nouns.
Now what's English?
We'll talk about that. We need the difference between verbs and nouns. The connection between them. We have no idea about tenses. A problem. We need idea about sentence organization. A problem. And what simple thing I do here is that when I go to the classroom, I give a simple essay. So I can say I want to specify and study something about nominalization. So I can use it to teach connection between nouns and verbs appropriately. So what I do is that I give them a general topic. No matter essay, no. Now my picky, probably I can use what is called convenient sampling, where I will sample, I will take some of the essays and ask me to do random sampling. Now I select some of them female and then male. Now I can boom. Now I study what we use of verbs, verb kind, the kind of verbs we use. Now to me the now I approve, now I concluded the tour. And your meaning for my own teaching. It's not research I'm talking about here for, for your friend is for publication. Now I can say my own job, and I have them there. So everything I do, every topic that I wanted to teach, I try to take something, because when your student depicts something,
we are fortunate to have access to the things you're talking about. Because, for example, you need to radio need TV, so a certain radio stations when you go there, microphone I do so now bonnet answer. So it doesn't mean that presenter is a bad one.
Captain,
maybe the resources, the logistics are independent here, because some of the villages when you go there, now you travel and near my church for you go through and so we drew classroom even to hold a chalk. That alone is discouraging.
Meaning, Captain, where can I say, so what should many year? My bow in chain, I do my FM pen.
Sure.
Okay, my bow in champion. That tells you that I'm not just privileged, as you see, but I'm a can say the learning and professional and academic development, and your personal responsibility. I mean, yes, as a captain, oh sorry, and I'll be there, and every panel seated here. I mean, yes, will be everything. You take it your responsibility. Say, what you want to say, you always find excuses to justify why you are not doing something right, you will always be there and you will remain the same. So you take the responsibility, because then the can catch will say, your life, okay, Kolana you want brain, no, or and to say back what say idea forever, because these are going to infest other people for the rest of their life until you pay attention. So every student I have taught, every school I have taught, my student will tell you that may say I don't leave any child behind. Every child is very important in the classroom, and so everything I do in the classroom, every activity is based on the development of that child. So I did be in my own personal way, okay, to do that. I try to do it for the children. So when I talk about research, I'm not talking about quality data or baby pesca. One can observe, because in the classroom, training colleges and universities, we are trained to be observant. That's why we say the teacher must have an eagle eye, where you know everything. We are way, for instance, what's a classroom? Now call be at home. Now what I know what in says na suseya. Just to tell us either any bako enya de and crowd papa and now say na so and see a problem. So you have to find out, engage in the child. So you can use this observation to identify a couple of children who have this, and you collect the data and analyze and submit a report for your own study. So Bema one who say, and then I make in this situation, ebi I make rockese, ebi I make kasa loudly. These are things you have to do for your own professional development in the classroom.
All right. Yababa no so actually beba modern say benya chechre for impeni for ni bi na fe won watimi aboaye ema ya hwe se ibetimi apawe hu ano pemasibra, because e hard dream pa ade ba ko enu na me dwene ho ewo licensure exams no ho say they all tried the imponi na when na kire they all tried the no cultural exams we are there. And say we share statistics na hupa one I did diploma, I was diploma in basic education timi our cultural exams from we were 3,536. Now we'll roll it on for you to see. Enipa over 3,500, 850 in a pass a year. One I want bachelor in basic education, cultural exam, so you're 468. You move 196 in a pass a year. Bachelor of Science in Education, and so we are 782. You move 461 in a pass a year. Now, Bachelor in Education, Ankasano, 1,398. You move 754 in a pass a year. Diploma in Education, if you have 1,113. You move 457 in a pass a year. Postgraduate diploma in education, 214. You move 169 in a pass a year. When we put a master's degree in education, 17 cultural exams, 5 in a pass a year. And there's a missing link. And I think as a country, as I say, you encourage GTLE if we na umutimi share exams we ye. Na Nii can say me or say teacher from Punio. Na nurse for ne doctors. See so one cultural exams we be a. And then they see.
So much nurses actual licensure exams.
Okay.
I require the shall check. And doctors you need to write and pass before. Some of these professional will be you have to write language.
Teacher for the by am said Ghana and share that yes and probably the man no see we no na ba shade University of Cape Coast Mukuta University of Cape Coast for certificate 2,142 emu 875 in a pass a year. So it tells you that there's a problem somewhere. And
we cry no a church for now. A war system no dada na nka ho a chechere for na war system ni there they were giving license no straight away into omo
trobi
omo be wura mu na choro in service for na choro
in service for that.
There be in service teachers now in lines and child. You wow all be with them on the try.
Goodness. Obi a try 9 times.
Yeah.
Captain, we didn't problem my home. Last number catch us on my hope say we develop policy be our home. Challenges like this, who identify na serve as a building block upon which our construct a policy. So when the policy comes aimed at addressing those fundamental challenges now, we'll find it at the basic level. No? Your problem also Kruman say problem no bad like this. We are only interested in discussing the challenges like this. Here we are. Policy makers will not make conscious effort to weave policies about addressing these challenges. Because this is not the first time we are talking about these things. Last year, I think a similar discussion came up. And the rate at which I'm for failing, even secondary education, failing has become a major problem. But have you ever heard any conscious policy be constructed and as any intervention be aim at addressing some of these things? It is our problem, no bar. Na ye jano ho, na ya kasa fwa, na ya because some of these things, and I think say, esenka, serve as a breaking point for us. Say, okay, so when I identify the tracking down effect, and the saying, say nipa wage in a classroom no chirem kra na de nyina ya jatum se brofo na de chira de na enye haweza na de chira de na sa ade we na nipa no kwakwa ya impact or de man kra na ene ne saying. These are the fundamental things that policymakers will have to come and weave these things into a policy statement. I bet me my address it, but as usual, media. I don't know how many media houses will take up this particular issue. It's just those politics, That is what we often do. But this Nyama way, and our mind or that, so my catcher say, you see, you're building or mine, you're building crano foundation. Or never inherited this future. The question we're asking yourself, say, what kind of future are they coming to inherit? What future ben ye be equity to them because foundation ye de more mono and foundation papa because my bra ye brain ye because ya intimian develop ya dwen no because oko elsewhere abochira kwan de nti amanfo afaso asabi nimde na se focus say there is a difference between enlightenment and even education itself. Enlightenment is mass unko school da Tetina na amanfo be lawyers. Obi timi follow lawyers
you are a lawyer.
Exactly. And your enlightenment, you enlighten.
No sharp
exactly. So the system no edu that particular level, which is the people will become enlightened. So over there is mass enlightenment, and those who are able to officially make those things formalized through a regulated system. No, okonya certificate, and then you go through education, then you can use it to do something. But that is just a minor section. You will be a bit many exposure to those things. In the US and other places, a man for a more year big invention, as for most of them are dropping out of school. But it doesn't mean say. Enlightenment process, it ended there because you need a lot of enlightenment to be able to come up with a lot of things. But maybe certification and nipa could do that particular level. But that enlightenment, there. And I think that is where we must focus. What I say, draw those distinctions. Now there is a major problem. Your school system, baby and crano started from the basic level to the top, a challenge. Now, baby and the environment itself is not conducive. So that now we see about saying curriculum net textbooks in for you. For about 3 to 4 years continue on here. Textbooks who school they be solution vice president they might saw the laptop ever replace textbooks in for. When your friends a textbook no cry book no yentimi amfa man cry no now you're talking about tablets and areas as be light cry ni ho. Some of these things are not feasible. Yentimi nya de betimi aboa now you're making sure that education we can toy with all other sectors, but education is quite critical because minor that so baby your mind baby any direction, any purpose. We are hoping say you bet me be quitted to a group of people who properly be in charge on becoming our certain competence, certain intelligence on bet me at your mind do baby other countries are going because there is a real competition out there. Countries are struggling to reposition themselves. Now, more repositioning among Korea to inherit a future because if you look at the technological space, the kind of innovation in country be a position in educational system say feeding those things. What are we doing? Even if you go to our major universities in this particular country, go there, tech.
I see where technology na se foi light dum okuma se o light dum be sin power source no be ni ba bia but these people should be able to at least come out with something or more ankasa
o me light
exactly campus one people around them benya access to but because our universities are not innovative enough no and you can blame them because the system is such that it's just mon pass or more certificate no mon ko or ba fia that's nothing for them
ni fa kakra so na fe ye just about 2 minutes and then
right and the captain I said this so you're a business owner what's the table business what for CEO what employee with staff now you realize they're not performing captain what do?
You sack them.
And see, if that is the case, if we are dealing with such an institution as a state, and we the people have employed the CEO, who in this case happens to be the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, who is the president. He's the #1 public servant. Yeah. Right down to the last public appointee. All of them are public servants. And see, if we the people have appointed these people to do some work for us, and we assess them at the end of every year, at the end of a same period, and we see, say, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Captain, what do?
We vote them out.
But you see, the voting out is what has been used to deceive Ghanaians. You have to say you have to wait for a certain
kick them out.
You kick them out.
Okay.
You fire them. Unka say, Wama will see you employment appointment for 4 years, and you will train 4 years, or read in 4 years, and send a wapam. No. If he does not deliver at any point you do your assessment, you fire him. And see, why is it that we have not come to that political consciousness? If we've appointed political servants to do some work, and we've assessed their performance and they're not doing what they are supposed to do, why do we say we're waiting for the end of the political tenure?
That is where the enlightenment comes in.
Exactly. So we have to get to the point, say, and yeah, after every 4 years. No, that's not the tenure you have to wait to assess their performances. Say 6 months input, and whereas that the government administration is not doing what they are supposed to do, Captain, the people's power, which is the vote of no confidence, can remove any administration at any time. And see, and if Ghanaians decide, say, this current administration is not doing what they're supposed to. Captain, Ghanaians can remove this administration from power. But why are we not doing that? We say, oh, you're entering next 4 years. At the end of the tenure of office, then we vote them out. But this is how we are getting. Captain, this education thing, this is not the first time. Any ministry of education, that thing said the only way to improve the children's performance, and they say, Yenkoto, pass questions. Captain, and yes, increase the time of participation of the children in
that's right.
learning.
Teacher, students,
contact hours.
Contact hours.
No, that is not the first resort. So almost say Yenkoto pass questions.
No, so we spent $25 million.
We shouldn't be surprised these things are happening.
Okay. I was saying the whole say me we in national said teacher ni no ye kire na de ye and ohun ya na say we hu no enye big deal. Big deal ni teacher ni na obapo. Examination more practice. Bebre wo mu a